Hello, welcome. We are in episode 5. We are going over the Pentacles, okay? So this is the last suit in the deck, and then the next lesson will be on the major arcana. So we're dealing with the element of earth, which is Pentacles, and in astrology, that is earth signs like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And what does that mean? Material things, money, possessions, physical security, being grounded. It's external things like your health and your finances and your work. It's not internal things like thoughts and feelings. Or taking action on something. It's external stuff. Okay, it has to deal with ego and your self-image and your self-esteem. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. The Ace of Pentacles, like all the other suits, there's a new opportunity, but in this case, it's a new physical opportunity, like a financial opportunity or a new car or a new house. Something that's been presented to you that you should take advantage of or not, but it's there. It's there, okay? The 2, okay, and like with the rest of the deck as well, if you looked at my previous videos, it's usually, 2s usually represent a choice. So in the Pentacles, he's got 2 Pentacles, and he's weighing his options. You know, he's kind of like, okay, I have 2 opportunities here, and which one do I choose? Okay. And you can see that like one is outweighing the other. So it's a clear choice. And you know, he has his foot up to the one that's outweighing the other. So it's a good sign. It's prioritizing things. It's also represents like trying to manage time, okay, because you have the infinity sign here. And what are your priorities? Like, you know, does this take priority over that? Probably yes. So it's about figuring out a decision to make, based on your priorities. All right. And then we have the 3. And the 3s in all of the deck usually represent a group of people. Okay, so in this case, it's teamwork. It's collaborating with other people. It's learning. And so if you look at this as a journey, he was, presented with a new opportunity. He had to choose which path he was going to go down. And then now we've decided our path. And now you notice, I always call this the journeyman card, because he took a new opportunity and he's learning, though. He's collaborating with these people. They're teaching him a new skill. And like a journeyman, he's like working on something, and he's learning, he's listening. Okay, so it's like taking advantage of that new opportunity. Next we have the 4. Okay, so this is where, you've just dove into this new opportunity, this new thing that you're learning. And now you've made a little bit of money and or something physical. And now you're kind of like hoarding it and you're hiding away. Notice he's got his back turned. He's focused on this big mountain, which is Earth, okay, which is what Pentacles represent, is physical things. He's focused on it. He's shut everybody else out around him. And so this is about like this is where Earth signs can get a little controlling, but it's kind of an immature controlling. It's not really thinking about the consequences. So, but it is about saving or controlling your money, but hoarding it and not really thinking about anything else, just conserving that, okay? And then we come to the 5, and 5s and the whole deck with all the other elements as well is about conflict. And in this case, this is about losing everything that you've hoarded, because you're not thinking about how you're going to use the new thing. You're thinking about how you can conserve it. And so it's not about using it to your benefit. It's about being greedy almost. And so now you feel the loss of that, and 5s are about loss. So this is about being left in the cold. You don't have those pentacles, that money anymore, and now you're at a loss, and you're out on the streets, and you're really feeling that loss. And so it's a lesson, okay? So that this journey is a lesson. So it's like, well, maybe instead of like hoarding everything, I should have thought about the bigger picture, but that lesson hasn't come yet. So, but this, when it comes up in a reading, it usually means financial loss or something physically that's been lost. The 6 is about learning that lesson. Again, this is a journey. So, stay on that journey. It's going to help you learn the tarot. Because if you can't remember what this card is, if you think of what came before it, you might remember what this is. Okay, so, and always look at the picture, because the picture usually depicts what you need to learn from it. So this is where you learn your lesson, and you go, you know what? I've accumulated some wealth, and if I balance, you see the scales, if I balance my thoughts around this, if I give back, I will also continue to receive. So it's about giving and receiving and sharing your wealth, and it's a really good lesson to learn, okay? And then we go on to the 7. Now this, he's matured finally, okay? So instead of hoarding his money previously, he's looking at his wealth now and going, and he's being divinely guided. Up here you can see that. He's going, well, maybe I should think about what I need to do with this instead of just hoarding it for myself. Maybe I need to really think about what I'm going to do with this. So it's about a long-term view and also perseverance and feeling confident in that. And it's about investing, really, okay? So looking at it with a different type of view, okay? Okay, and then we have the 8. And the 8 is where you really start to hone in on your skills. So you're not a journeyman anymore. Now you are, maybe you're even teaching other people. Because look at this guy is hard at work, and he's busting out these pentacles. He's learned how to do it so fast. Now he has somebody else working for him and other people honoring him. And so it's really about developing that skill and staying steadfast in it, which earth signs are so good at, okay? If you have learned these lessons and you're growing spiritually as an earth sign, you will get here, okay? But you have to go through this journey first. Okay, now we have the 9. The 9, and this is so beautiful. So this is where you've learned lots of lessons from all of this journey, and you are finally reaping the rewards. This is a card about abundance. It's about living in luxury. It's being independent, and a lot of times this usually equals an independent woman, financially independent, and not a care in the world. She's got everything under control. You notice the pentacles before were always, somewhere above, somewhere below. Now the pentacles are below because he or she has figured out how to control those earthly things, and without all the other distractions and all the lessons she's learned, okay? So it's a beautiful card of independence, financial freedom. Then we come to the 10. And the 10 is where you have accumulated the wealth, and it's kind of flowing all around because you're giving back. There's, you're giving to family. There's long-term success here. There's contribution. There's giving and receiving on a beautiful, abundant level on a physical realm. And if you notice, there's the elders here and the youngsters, but everybody is super happy. And you've made the right decision. So this is a journey. This is a growth. Okay? So I want you to remember that throughout these lessons. So now let's move on to the page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. And I always say these usually represent people that come into your life. And so if you're doing a reading, it would be like a person showing up. And not always, but usually that's the case. And it's usually earth sign or an earth sign energy. Okay. So the pages are always kind of, I would say, a younger person. And in this case, it's someone who's trying to manifest, and pages are messengers. So they're trying to give you information about something physical. It's also about developing skills. Like if you notice here, like there's a building in the back, and they're trying to kind of like give you information about that, and maybe it's something new that's coming along. Okay, but based off of like a grounded energy. Then we have the Knight, and the Knights usually come in hot. They're like they're coming, someone is coming towards you with something. This is a message, but this is like, you will actually see me, I'm coming towards you. And so this is, the Knights are usually hard-working, productive people that are conserved. Like he's very stable. If you look at the other Knights in the deck, they're so different from this guy because he's like, I'm stable. Here I have this pentacle to offer to you. But it's usually some energy that's coming towards you that's offering something. So I would say an earth sign or earth sign energy. Someone possibly coming to offer you a stable commitment or a stable job offer. It's very stable. He's like very grounded. Okay. With the Queen, think of this as a, when you get to the King and Queen, think of them as like an earth sign that is well developed and spiritually aligned. And so the Queen is very nurturing, very practical. They provide finances for their loved ones. They're very confident. They've been around the block because they've learned all the lessons. And they're ready to give back without a problem, but they're still going to protect their finances. They're not stupid. They know where they've come from. But they're usually very nurturing when it comes to giving back, because they're never going to let go of what they've built, but they will give back the excess. So it's a very mature attitude. And then we have the King, and he is all about like wealth, business. He's a leader. He's very good at securing deals. Very disciplined and abundant in everything that he has. Okay. So that is the Pentacles. And thank you so much for joining me on this journey. The next episode will be all about the major arcana, and I might break that up into a couple different videos because I will grab them. There's 21. It's a lot of cards to go through. And so the minor arcana are events in your life that you can change. The major arcana are things you usually cannot change, and so they're major life events, and there's a lot here. Okay, so it's a lot to go through, so I'll probably break it up in 2 different videos. But thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next episode.